huge news out of the Michigan Capitol today where we finally got earmark rules passed after months of work across journalists, the public, and the Michigan State Legislature. What we were looking for was at least a month to investigate these earmarks before lawmakers pass state budgets so that lawmakers can be questioned on the true purpose of why these funds are being given from taxpayers to nonprofits or other organizations. And we need to be able to investigate the recipients of those earmarks to see if there is any sort of pay for play in their campaign contributions or other dark money given to these candidates or their parties. And we need to see whether the money that is being proposed for public purposes is actually going for public benefit. And so what has been a huge issue for many years now is that billions of dollars of these earmarks are passed without more than 48 hours of public disclosure. And so we've been fighting for this at the Michigan Campaign Finance Network, and it has been a struggle. And we've written multiple investigations. We focused on it in our last 3 stories of our earmarks investigation on MCFN.org. It is finally working. And so what we first got earlier this year was a simple website where you just got a big long list of PDFs of every submission for every earmark that was going to go into the budget from the Michigan Senate. And most of these were relatively small. We're looking at something as simple as a $500,000 grant to Gleaners Food Bank based in Detroit. But some of these earmark requests could be much larger. So this one from October 1st asked for $100 million for RX Kids. And this earmark was only submitted on October 1st, actually the day that the budget was supposed to be passed. Instead, the budget ends up getting passed on early morning of October 3rd, but we still had less than 48 hours to review this earmark before it was passed into law. And actually, within that 48 hours, this earmark actually ballooned from $100 million all the way up to $250 million. And so we have to be able to get more time in figuring out whether that $100 million to $250 million, what was the purpose of that expansion, who actually approved it beyond the Senate majority brings, and where were the kind of lobbying efforts and other key figures who actually made this earmark happen. And so, interestingly, what we found out is that this fight, which now is leading to 45-day earmark disclosure standards, was based on a fight where Senator Brinks had actually initially proposed a 10-day reporting period. Speaker Hall had proposed a 90-day period. We at MCFN had actually recommended a 60 to 90-day disclosure period for all earmarks. 2 to 3 months would be excellent for us to be able to do all the research and actually dig into some of these stories. These investigations, this 3-part series, took us over 2 months to do the full investigation. And so in kind of a perfect world, we would love to have 2 to 3 months to do this work. But even 45 days is a huge improvement over the 48 hours or less that we've had even for this recent budget. And so what's next is actually figuring out whether all of these earmark disclosures are actually constitutional. So going back to that 1850 Constitutional Convention, where it was decided that any earmarks that were for private purposes or local purposes needed to be passed with a 2/3 majority in the Michigan Legislature. And that happened this year, but it hasn't happened in 3 or 4 of the past years. And so also our investigation is looking into a case in the Michigan Court of Claims where we're trying to figure out whether any of those earmarks that were passed with less than a 2/3 majority are actually constitutional at all. And so all of these investigations, the 3-part series, are all at mcfn.org. But what we're really excited to see is that they're leading to real changes. We're seeing earmark disclosure changes happening. We're seeing new websites and more information given to journalists and the public. And we're actually getting that more oversight over Michigan's earmarks that we've been asking for. So very proud of the work that not just MCFN has done, the work at the Detroit News, the work at Bridge, and a lot of these other great organizations that have been doing this research and have been doing this investigative work for many years. And it's working. Keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it at MCFN. If you want to support our work, go to mcfn.org. You can read all of our stories. You can contribute and just keep pushing your politicians and even your journalists to do more of these stories, pass more of these bills, because this public pressure really works. So thank you. I'm excited.